The intensive care unit is full of the war wounded. The 3-month-old Russian-backed Syrian government offensive in northwest Syria has left at least 2,000 men, women and children with injuries, many of them severe. And there aren't many hospitals still operating in the rebel-held province of Idlib. That's because health facilities have been destroyed in airstrikes that international aid agencies say seem to be targeted attacks in breach of international humanitarian law.
Daily, the increasing of the number of the civilian injured is coming to us, and we cannot cope with this number of patients because this number is daily increasing and the kinds of injuries is different.
And some, like 1-year-old Yara Badawi, are now maimed for life. Civilians, medical workers and health centers have all been targeted in the offensive. The strategy appears to put pressure on the opposition's support base in an attempt to force the rebels to surrender.
After almost 8 weeks of military operations, the Syrian regime has been unable to retrieve huge chunks of the demilitarized zone in Idlib. They have proven to be quite inefficient in holding ground. So after 8 weeks, they've been only able to get around 1.5% of the demilitarized zone. On the other hand, the opposition has been able to get 30 square kilometers of areas that were under regime control.
It's not clear if behind-the-scenes negotiations between the backers of the warring sides, Russia and Turkey, are responsible for the changes on the ground. But for the first time in weeks, Syrian government troops advanced into rebel-held territory in northern Hama. They reversed the opposition's gains, and this time without facing much resistance. Turkey's military support to the rebels is believed to be behind the repeated failures by the pro-Damascus alliance to take ground. This gave Turkish officials leverage over Russia, which recently used its own card by intensifying bombardment of civilian areas. The question is whether a compromise has now been reached ahead of a new round of Syria peace talks between Russia, Turkey and Iran later this week in the Kazakh capital, Nur Sultan. The opposition says the ceasefire needs to be revived in Idlib before there can be any progress on the political front. That truce can't come soon enough for the Syrians in the rebel-held province, who have already lost so much. Zeina, Khodr, Al Jazeera, Antakya.